Oh
live.
shit, we're live. I think
We're
I'm
live.
live. I don't think I'm Memorex.
Are you?
I don't know.
I always thought you were the Walking Dead.
Well, could be. You never know, especially in this day and age.
You never know. Okay, what's going on? It ain't letting me share it.
What are you trying to share?
I'm trying to share the broadcast.
And it's not letting you?
It is now. It's just being complicated like
Uh,
always. Facebook's just being a bitch. What else
Facebook's
can I say?
always a bitch. You
Yep.
know that.
Let's see. Um,
You know that Facebook's always a bitch. So, I'll get us banned in a second here because I will start talking about
well, there's a link down there
suck
if
a
anybody
turd.
wants to join. So it is open chat. And an open mic night. Okay.
Open mic night.
Yeah, something like that. I lost my pages. Oh, wait. Here they
Talk
are.
ducal. Niels. What'd you lose? Your brain?
Your brain.
Gotta have one of those to lose it, Hmm.
British Wildlife Park removes 5 cursing parrots from public view. If they teach the others bad language and I end up with 250 swearing birds, I don't know what we'll do. The park. Could you just see that? Yeah,
Just
I
got the
gotta extend.
notification.
Yeah, I gotta extend the time, Tom. I'll get it.
Extend what time?
The time of that opening screen.
Ah,
They don't have any video footage or audio footage of the swearing parrots, though.
well, that sucks. What good is it then?
Just pictures. So, anyway,
Yeah.
that's all I can find right now. There's not a lot out there that's interesting.
There's not.
No.
Why?
I don't know. They just sucks. I mean, I got a lot of the audio footage up on the places out there. Still waiting for the link for Amazon.
Yeah.
Still don't know what they're gonna do about the 8th as it gets closer to that date. How
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna work yet. It kind of sucks that we couldn't go to Bray Road. Now the weather has to start being shitty again.
Yeah, I know.
As it gets closer to this weekend, it's going to be really shitty.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking sucks we didn't get out as much as we wanted to. But I am having fun having guests on. It's just kind of a bummer when we don't have one. You know,
Yeah, I know.
I saw an article that the Amyville house,
Amity.
whatever, is up for sale.
Yeah.
$1.1 million.
Well, buy it. You're rich.
Yeah, right.
Oh, come on. Didn't you follow Donnie and do everything he did?
If you bought that house, if you had the money to buy that house, would you? And
Yeah, I
then
would.
would you live in it?
Yeah, I would.
Really?
Yeah, because that shit don't scare me because I know that it feeds on the fear.
And you
Those,
have no
those
fear.
spirits like that,
You're
those
saying you
spirits
have no
like
fear.
that. I'm not saying I don't have any fear. I said it feeds on fear. So if you don't feed it, it's not gonna be able to, or if you don't allow it to, it won't be able to hurt you.
How do you know it feeds on fear? What if it was something else that it's feeding on?
Because if it was something else that was feeding on it, wouldn't be as evil as it is.
So you say.
All right, fine.
Well, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
At least I won't. At least I wouldn't be the one to crap my pants.
No, I wouldn't do that, see. I mean, sure. What the hell? I mean, but see, you're gonna jump at every fucking little noise? Nah, I don't think
I
so.
won't.
Because most houses, no matter how old they are,
They settle.
they settle. Land gets
There's
wet around them.
always
You get
there's
a little
always
rain.
noises.
They settle.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
always noises.
shit. I hear things walking across the roofs here all the fucking time.
That's your squirrels up there.
Yeah, because they're too afraid to get on the ground because Joy will catch them.
Yep, your little pitter patter footprints, the footpads are on your roof or the squirrels.
you know, but it don't bother me. You know,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Oh.
but just I think the only thing that would bother me that if it came true would have to relive that moment where in the movie where the window was covered with flies.
That wouldn't bother me either. Because at that point, I'd just take a shop vac and suck them all up.
You got an answer for everything, don't you?
Well, Joe, if you lived in the same area that I lived in California during the summer and growing up, flies wouldn't bother you either. We lived right next to a dairy.
Well, they didn't
In
bother
the
me except that
summertime,
they that
in the summertime, the fucking wall, the back wall on the house was kind of a creamish brown. The back wall on the house would be black
from
because it
flies.
it was covered with flies. Dad would go out there with the fogger and fog them out, kill them all, and then we'd go through and shop vac them up and dump them off out in the field somewhere.
Well, we I had a experience that was
No,
kind of like that poltergeist.
I actually took fistfuls of them and threw them in spider webs.
They had I was working on one of those
Spiders loved
roads.
it.
It was real hot outside. I was working on one of those roads way out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, directing traffic. Had to park my car in this little gravel parking lot. Had an old
Yeah,
'68 Pontiac Catalina,
I know you didn't
black
last
as
too
could
long because
be.
you were causing too many accidents.
And we'd leave. I left the windows down the first day, which was a mistake because
Yeah.
the rear window and the windshield were covered with flies. You couldn't see out.
That's because they were in there to try and keep out of the. I don't know what the fuck
But
flies
the car was
are.
black,
I don't know
primer
why
black.
car.
It was
I don't know.
heat. It had to do
Yeah,
with the heat.
I don't know what
And
the fuck is with flies and cars.
so the next day, I rolled up
It
the
seems
windows
like they
tight.
always want to be in the cars.
I rolled up the windows as tight as could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still managed to get in. Now it's not just my windshield and the rear window, it's all the windows. Yeah. It was fucking, man.
I don't know.
It's just one of those things you just don't want to relive twice, you know. And there was nothing I could do about it because I even brought out because back then it was back in those days where, you could find a car just about anywhere it's for $150 and it'll last you at least a year.
Yeah.
All right, and I had four cars at one time during that period. Right, I had a '68 Catalina, and I had a couple of old Delta 88s, and then I had a Cutlass, an old like 70 Cutlass.
Aren't Delta 88s cutlasses?
No, Delta 88s are like a generic version of a Cadillac, the Oldsmobile Delta 88. They're big four-door boats.
They're still made by Oldsmobile
Right, but
because the
they're like
Cutlass is
a
an Oldsmobile.
right. But the Cutlass is like the two-door sporty cars, and then the Oldsmobile Delta 88 was like a generic version of the Cadillac.
Mm. No, yeah, well, I guess for Chrysler or not Chrysler, but Oldsmobile and Chevy. But Chrysler's answer to the Cadillac was the
New
Chrysler
Yorker
Newport.
or the New Yorker.
Yeah, the Newport and New Yorker. Well, the New Yorker was the Fleet. That one would be comparable to the Cadillac Fleetwood.
My dad bought one once,
And
metallic green, dark dark metallic green.
my dad bought a Chrysler Newport, a 1975 Chrysler Newport. It had that big ass 440 engine in it with 4 barrel carb, and it was a two door. Everything leather inside, everything power. He got it for $500, and it was a maroon car, maroon color.
Oh, when he bought that car,
And holy shit, that thing was nice.
I got my first car from him because he had a dent in the back of it, and he says, "I'm not driving that no more. I'm buying a new car." You know. So as soon as I
Really?
buy a new car, this one's yours. So, and you know, some of those days it's like, well, you believe it and then you don't. But anyway, he finally bought that Chrysler the New Yorker, and I ended up with a 1973 Lincoln Continental Mark IV
With a dent in the back.
with a little dent in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. That Newport, man, that thing was freaking nice. And you put your foot down into it, and she would move. That's a boat, man.
I
That thing
had
was a freaking boat.
I had found out that owning a Lincoln was quite an expensive chore even back then. I was living over there on Moreland Road, kind of on the south side of Madison, over by the Coliseum, right? And I come out one day and somebody shot my opera window out with a BB gun,
You sure it was a BB gun?
whatever. I don't know. But the whole thing was shattered. It was just the opera window, those little ones with the back. It's got the Lincoln
Mm,
emblem on them. They're oval in shape. Not very big, right?
yeah,
Yeah. That cost me more than it did to replace the whole windshield.
I believe it.
Even back then when I owned that car, and that was like my very first car. I was like 18. My dad
Hmm.
gave me that car.
Uh, anyway,
That was a gas guzzling boat. But it was so nice back then. You could go out, go to junkyards. They were all over the place. All you had to do most of the time was take your own tools so that you wouldn't get the charge of them taking the part off for you. You take your own tools, or
yeah,
some of them would even loan you the tools to do it if you wanted to save yourself that extra little money. You
yeah.
go out and get the part, match up the door or whatever. You could find anything at these junkyards back then. I'll never forget the one where there was one that had all kinds of bike frames. Oh, if I could have ever gotten mechanically inclined, I wanted to build one. Saw a frame out here once. Couldn't get Woody to help me, and that would have been a trike frame.
Yeah.
Guy sold it like a couple years ago. It was sitting here out here for like 3 years. I probably could have got a deal on it. I mean, it was full frame, but it was like an old school frame. But shit happens. So what's
Yeah.
next? Do you find anything over there?
I'm looking on Facebook.
Ever since I saw them UFOs or that UFO thing, I keep looking late at night when I'm up, and I haven't seen it again. you know, which makes
Yeah.
me think that that was something, not of this earth, basically, is the only way I can explain it because it was no plane. It didn't move, it just stayed put because I watched that sucker for about 20 minutes, because I was waiting for Joy to do her Mother Nature's little business outdoors so that I could let her back in. It was like midnight and after,
Yeah.
and it was like perfectly clear sky out. I haven't seen nothing like that since then. Just that one night. Now, explain something to me,
Here. What?
Mr. Know It All.
I don't know all.
How long do the like when you see like the when you can see like the planets or like planets align in the sky or whatever? How long does that usually last?
Well, it depends. I mean, from sundown to sun up, you can see these. You can see the planets, but um, depends on their positioning in the sky, and it depends on um, because they're going to move. The planets will move. Their position in the sky as it goes from nighttime back to daytime. There it'll because the Earth's rotating and all this shit. The positions will move. But if you got one object sitting in the sky at the exact same spot all the fucking time for hours upon end, it's not a planet.
Well, that was like 20. Well, I watched it for about 20 minutes, and it was still there when I just because Joy was done, and
Well, to truly test to see if it's a planet or not, the best way to do that is to observe it at its point where you see it, mark down your time that you've seen it, and come back like 2 hours later. Because at that point, if it was a planet or even a star, it would have shifted to a different position in the sky.
yeah.
And most likely, if you see it in the eastern hemisphere, it'll shift closer towards the western hemisphere.
Well, this was over across on the other side of the lake, over above the cornfield area.
I'm not sure what this thing's about, but it's a video, and
Weird circular lights in the sky in Christchurch City. Check it out.
it's over in Australia.
I don't know what those are, but it's low-key creeping me out. I love an explanation. I don't want to
Not
think
sure if
aliens are actually
that's
real.
like
Like,
lights
whoa.
being shined on the
I'm not
on the
joking.
clouds or what it was.
Yeah, I, yeah. I mean, that could be like one of those funky new types, lights that somebody can put in their yard type thing, and
Yeah,
Instead
Because
of shining
there's
it
some
on
weird
their
shit.
house or shining it up in the sky. You know, um, yeah,
There's weird stuff out
I'm
there. You
not
know, you
so
never know.
sure. I'm not so sure I'd sit there and trust that one. That looked a little hokey to me. You know,
Somebody says projector onto clouds, and that's a possibility.
well, that's what I'm saying. It was like one of those things that they project the lights up there, like for Christmas, it's snowflakes, or Halloween, you can do pumpkins, witches, different things, and it projects on the side of your house. On a flat surface, usually like the garage, and then it stakes out in the yard and plugs in.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that
You
stuff.
know, I mean, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that was something of that nature pointing upwards into the sky.
Yeah.
You know, that's one. What's so funny now?
Oh, that looks weird as hell. This video.
Well, what video?
Hang on, I'll tell you. God damn it. It's giving me fits.
Oh my god! No way!
No way. Way, no way. Way, no way.
What do we got here now? Let's see.
It's posted by Satan. I don't know. It's a video I found on YouTube. Some of these groups I joined shows some shit. It's in black and white. It looks when you first see it here, you see these two figures. It looks like two figures.
Okay.
But watch. Yeah, it's two women fighting.
That's.
Here, I'll watch it again. That's fucking freaky though.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that's
good if
um
it's
um that's just manipulating the camera so that it looks like they're standing on the wall sideways, and they're really not.
possibly. I mean, it's kind of
It's not hard to do if you see. If you ever, the best way to do it is go to YouTube and find the video about making of Dancing on the Ceiling video by Lionel Richie. Okay,
yeah,
and watch how they made that video. Same thing right there can be done.
yeah.
It's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy to make it look like you're walking on the ceiling or walking on the side of the wall or whatever. It's actually very easy. It doesn't take any kind of new technology or any CGI type stuff. It's just simple manipulation of the cameras. You know, I
Yeah,
saw something really
I'm just
weird.
saying, and it looked freaky. That's the whole thing.
Hershey's chocolate is coming out with a beer.
What?
Yeah, right there. See the picture? It's a chocolate beer. that brings a distinctive chocolate flavor that is true to Hershey's brand. It's going to be a chocolate beer.
Yeah, okay.
Now the alcoholics that drink beer can not only have a beer gut, but they'll have a zit face to boot.
There you go. Zit face to go with the beer gut.
Well, think about it. I mean, it just sounds disgusting to me. I don't like the taste of beer to begin with, but chocolate flavored beer, no thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. No, thank you. Okay. Anyway, you realize tomorrow's the first of
Tomorrow's the first.
October.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That means there's 31 days till Halloween.
3 more days till Halloween.
No, 31 days to Halloween.
Yeah, I know. I've also noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed a lot, but I've noticed recently that there's been a lot of Bigfoot sightings out there
Yeah,
popping
I've
up.
I've noticed it as well.
Um,
It's kind of weird.
in particular, I've noticed for our area, the Wisconsin area, um, it seems that right now the hot spot is in the Kettle Moraine South, which is
Yeah,
over there by
down by
down
Eagle.
by Eagle and Palmyra down there, and they've been um, stories published in their local papers that I've seen pop up on Facebook from some of those groups, the paranormal groups or whatever.
Yeah,
And then, but mostly, yeah, they're from their local papers, like the Eagle paper. Palmyra's got a local paper, and they don't say exactly where, but I'm willing to bet a lot of them, because there's been a lot of them lately, are probably right along that Highway 59.
it could be.
You know, I mean, more people may be taking their time now because they're not in such a hurry to go to work, and they're just traveling to check on somebody or do something, and they're just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just seems like there's been an uptick all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure either. It does seem like more people are saying that they see that they're seeing
Maybe
Bigfoot.
it's because more people are spending time at home and they're sitting out in their backyards. You know,
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, people aren't. The people don't have anything to do right now. You know,
but now here's the kicker. Let's say this is the case. Then why haven't we got some better pictures or something popped up yet
I don't
with
know.
some better video? You know, I mean, there's I like the theories that's possible out there, but after seeing what we saw and with the farm,
Yeah, I know.
um, your theory is almost the one theory that you had about Bigfoot a long time ago is a more plausible theory now when you look at the Beasts of Bray Road and stuff happening there.
Yeah,
You know,
you're talking about an interdimensional creature.
Yeah, or they're aliens from outer space just coming in to watch and like
Yeah.
watching, because we're not a threat. We're just sitting there watching, and then they disappear without a trace. I mean, how else will you explain so far? There's been no DNA,
Yeah.
no no hair samples, no DNA, no carcass, no scat. Only thing is those casts. All right, that people have, the Bigfoot casts that you've seen on
Yeah.
TV. That's the only true evidence that they've had. I mean, that would explain it all. Why
It
that
would
none of that
explain a
stuff's been
lot.
found? Why none of that stuff's been found or left behind anywhere? You know, I mean, even if they are like, say, an ancestor to something that was thought to be extinct or whatever, you would think, even if they lived up into those high regions that we couldn't get to and stuff like that, DNA and stuff would be left behind
You would think that there should be,
somewheres.
but
That's all I'm saying. It just makes more sense to me, logically speaking, if you think about it.
yeah.
Because they've gotten to, technology keeps getting better and better. We agree on this. Okay. And I've seen them try to take DNA so many different ways. I mean, they can take it out of a lake, and they can get you a mapping about every fish or whatever that's in that lake just from taking samples.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't necessarily catch any of the fish.
Right. No, it's just the DNA from inside the lake.
Right. And they can give you an entire history of what's in there or what's been in that area. That's how far advanced we are now. That being said, if this thing exists, we should have had some evidence by now. You know, but all this hair
Yeah.
sample turns up to be, all these hair samples have pretty much turned up to be some form of bear, mostly. And in other cases, some form of canine. You know,
Right. Who knows?
and besides that, I mean, think about it. You walk all the way, you live at the top of one of them fucking mountains and shit like that, and you're down towards the bottom, hunting, trying to get something to eat, kill a deer or whatever. I mean, you really think you're gonna go and hold it and wait till you get back to the top, take a shit and a piss just to keep it hidden? I mean, that'd be a bitch, don't you think?
Yeah. It would be a bitch. I agree.
But the only thing that's ever been proven is the tracks have been found everywhere. Himalayas has got one of the most famous track trails
Yeah.
of Bigfoot or Sasquatch or the Yeti or whatever they call it over there. Same creature. You know, it's like they just found some. What was it? I just saw something that they found some new species of something recently again.
What?
Yeah,
A new species?
species that they thought was extinct. something that was thought to be extinct was proven to exist today.
Mermaids?
Yeah, that would be cool. No, it wasn't something like that. It wasn't something that exotic or that cool. You know, I can't remember what it was now. I didn't save it, but it sucks that this whole season that we've had kind of sucks because of this COVID bullshit. You know,
Yeah, it does suck with this COVID bullshit. I hate being,
I
not
mean,
being able to do stuff.
well, it's bad enough that I'm careful as it is. And we all know why. Okay, you know,
Yeah, well,
I'm careful as it is when I go out because I don't want to go out in this too much. I canceled appointments and then I later had to reschedule them, but I didn't want to go right at the beginning of all of this crap. But we don't go to the locations and stuff anymore because we're being careful. I don't go out when it's raining too much, because I don't want to get sick. Because even a cold can put me in the hospital.
yeah, I know.
So, it's just so I'm trying to be careful. So it kind of sucks, but on the downside is, or on the upside to all of that is that we've got to have some amazing guests.
Yeah, I have
And
to
I'm
admit
really
we've had
trying.
some very amazing guests, and they've been really fun to talk to
I'm
and
really trying to
interesting.
keep that up, and it's not easy. So,
I know. I'm
um,
sorry.
no, it's not all your fault. It's just trying to communicate with some of these people. They get so busy they don't get back to you. They just read it, and or they don't see it because they don't come on Messenger or whatever. I don't know what it is, you know. But I'm working on them. But we do got a good one coming up
Yeah,
Friday. Um, I've already posted a thing.
yeah.
Spelt
I
their
seen.
name
I
wrong at
seen
first, so I had to go back and edit it.
it. Had to go
I used
fix it. Let
Yeah,
me tell ya.
I spelt the last name right. I just used a little d instead of an uppercase D. So, or
The
no,
Beck.
B. No, the B in the name. That's what it
Yes,
was.
the Beck.
Yeah, I used a lowercase b instead of an uppercase B. But anyway, either way, I fixed it.
Yeah.
So, and she was recently diagnosed with the COVID, and she's been posting a journal on Facebook, and I read part of it, and then I got talking to her, and yeah, she's going to come out and tell her story. Hopefully, she's feeling a little bit better. Um, she's had her ups and downs this week fighting this thing and having the strength to sometimes make these posts that she makes. Um, she can get very I don't know what the word is. I don't want to insult her in any way. Articulate when it comes to writing her thoughts out onto paper or
Mhm.
this in this case Facebook. You know, so it'll be an interesting conversation. So, but she's had her ups and downs with this. She got tested again just a couple of days ago or yesterday or whatever, or Monday, and then got the results back and it was negative. So it's out of her system or whatever. But yet she's got quite a road ahead of her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that's another thing about
you know, so
that.
she's
That's
trying
that's
to,
another thing that's weird about the COVID. It's something that lasts because
well, I thought I'd have her on because, she started her post because she wants people to realize that this isn't a hoax and it's not a joke. You
no, it's
know,
not a joke.
this thing's fucking real. And And that's exactly, if you listen to the experts, the doctors out there like Fauci, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they'll tell you the same thing. This is real. This is not a hoax,
I
you
know
know,
it's
and anyone can get it. You're not, nobody's Superman and immune to this crap,
no.
you know,
Some people
and
don't get the symptoms, but others do.
well, that's just like any other virus or any other disease. You can be a carrier, is what they call
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
and you
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 can be a
you, you can
carrier,
still
and
transmit it, but you just don't get any of the symptoms. But with this COVID shit, man, I was reading some of the stuff she recently posted, and I know if I get it, I'll be in ICU in a hurry. You can bet on it,
mm-hmm.
just because of my pre-existing condition. You know,
Yeah,
which sucks for me. So I got to be extra careful and live like I do in the wintertime. Hibernate, and I hate hibernating. But what are you
I
gonna
know.
do?
But, yeah, like you
What are you
said,
gonna do?
what can you do?
You can't. There's nothing we can do about it. We can try to play it safe, but you can't. You take your chances, show up to some of these public places, and you get a crowd there or a lot of people there because they haven't been out in a while, and yeah, boom, one wrong day, one in the wrong place at the wrong time, and boom, yeah, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, thank you, not taking a chance. As much, and I do miss it. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss going out and investigating these creepy places. Man, there's a lot on my bucket list, and I'm sure your bucket list is getting bigger and bigger too.
Yeah,
In my spare time, I sit here and I'll see some of these things, and I'll read about some of these creepy places or see some of these creepy places. I wish I could remember where I've seen some of these old abandoned. Um, like sometimes you'll be out driving down the road and you'll see some of these old abandoned buildings, right? Just to take pictures of them, you know, because they're just creepy looking. Some of them are, you know, and some look like they might have had a history because they're burnt down and they've been sitting there forever that way, just an empty shell of what used to
yeah.
be a barn or whatever on empty land,
But also you
weeds
gotta
growing up all around it.
right, but you also gotta watch it on some of that stuff too, because you can get nailed for trespassing. That's why I say,
Why? If I pull over on the side of the road and I stay on the road to take the picture on the shoulder of the road,
oh no, for that no, I'm talking about if you're gonna go and try and go and explore.
no, you don't want to try to
You
go
gotta watch
explore
what you're
unless you
doing,
get permission
because
first.
yeah, that's my
Right,
point.
right. I
You gotta
get
get
it.
permission.
Yeah, we know you're anal that way. So
I that's what
I
keeps me out
still
of
think we
trouble.
could have gotten away with it at Asylum State Park.
We can still, if you want.
I'm just
Hell,
saying. I'm
if you
just
want, we
saying.
can go back
I'm
out there Saturday instead of over to Weary Road, so we stay
whatever,
closer to home.
whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to
But
me.
you know,
You know, doesn't matter to me. Weary Road, Astalon State Park. I just want to know if the legend's true. Take the dare.
doesn't doesn't happen on at a certain day or time or anything like that.
No, you just gotta be standing there. Just be standing there on the mound, facing the rock that's carved with whatever her story in it or whatever it identifies it as the Indian
Yeah,
you know, whatever Princess Burial Mound, and when you're standing there at night, you'll hear the shells from her belt rattling behind you. And then when you turn and look, nothing's there. You know, that's the story. But I mean, I can see. I mean, think about it. I can see how that place there, especially because of one our experience there the first time and having the corrupt footage. Correct. After having the EMF meter going nuts at a couple of spots, and we get this all on camera, and we get back, and the footage is corrupt. Okay, but you got the story where they dug up her remains
Yeah.
and put them down on display in a museum in Milwaukee. The Native Americans protested and have been protesting ever since then. And her remains to this day haven't been returned. They're actually in storage in the basement of that museum.
Yeah, they should be returned, so.
See, now, you think there's not some kind of restless spirit going on right there?
No,
Yeah,
it could be.
I think there might be. You know, I mean, there was some weird vibes out there, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that history of that place goes way back. You know,
Well, yeah, it goes way back. Some of the first settlers
yeah, that
are
the
for
history of that
some of the first
Native American
Native
history is
American.
it goes back to the Native American history because it was a tribe that of Native Americans that lived there. I mean, it was a perfect spot. They had that river right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I apologize to everybody out there. This is a boring. This
yeah,
one's a
it's
boring
boring.
show. We
Sorry, we didn't have any content.
don't have any content really. I've been working trying to figure shit out there.
Maybe we should do the Church of Dude.
We could
I gotta give me a sweater though, like his. Yeah, we need to
start.
find another guest. If you want a guest on our show or wanted to come on, there was a link there too.
Yeah.
Anybody was always welcome. But anyway, I suppose we could call it Friday. We've got a good guest, so Friday should be interesting.
Yeah.
Friday, she's going to talk about her personal hands-on experience with COVID. So
Yep.
I'm not going to say too much. I'll just let her tell you her story. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
till
It's up to her to tell us her story. So.
till Friday, it'll be same time, 6 p.m. Central, Friday, and we are out of here.